And we're here to continue the reading of Heartsutra that we started, I think last June, can't remember exactly, June, July. So to read the Heartsutra. We'll start the day first spending just a few minutes to make sure that our states of mind, in other words, our intention to join the class, is at least in a neutral state, if it is possible, a positive, a constructive states of mind will be very, very helpful. For that purpose, we'll spend for a few minutes for that. After that, then we'll do a short meditation, and the meditation, this short meditation is to make sure our states of mind is not only in a positive, constructive, but it is also right here and now, and fully alert and fully away to the present moment, which is also very, very useful, helpful for this kind of gathering. After the meditation, then I will continue the reading the Heartsutra. We will do this until 11:30. And at 11:30, we will have a short break, and then we'll again come back and restart the session until 1. Then we'll have lunch. Then again, 2 sessions in the afternoon. First, let me say just a few words to encourage you to have a right, positive mind. That can be, when I say right, constructive, a positive mind, I'm talking about according to your mental strength, according to your mental ability, such as very simply thinking very clearly and strongly. Today, this morning, I'm here at this place with a group of people to participate in these activities, such as listening to the talk, contemplating, meditating, some recitations, and if there are questions, ask questions, and so forth. I will engage in these activities in order to enhance, promote, to further develop those helpful, useful, and beneficial minds, thoughts, emotions, and behavior that I have already got. Useful, helpful, and beneficial in the sense of the mind, thoughts, and the behavior. When we experience them, when we engage in them, make our actions of body, speech, and mind, bring peace, relax, sense of fulfillment, sense of joy, and sense of meaning, sense of purpose to oneself and to others, immediately and long term. On the other hand, think I'm here to reduce, to minimize, and if I can, to eradicate those unhelpful, unhealthy, and disturbance, mental states, and behavior. Unhelpful, unhealthy, and disturbance in the sense of when our body, speech, and mind engage in them, make us feel, to feel fear, worry, concern, make us to cause pain and difficulties to oneself and to others, immediately and long term. Make them to reduce, make them to minimize. For that purpose, I'm here. In general, to listen the Buddha's talk, and in particularly this sutra, one of the most important Mahayana sutras, Heartsutra. So think that way, which we are all able to do that. And then some of you have taken the Buddha Dhamma, the Buddha's teachings, as your spiritual path by your own choice. That means, they're going for refuge, have taken refuge to the Buddha as your spiritual teacher, to the Dhamma, his teachings, as your actual means, methods to be actualized, to be realized, and taking refuge to the Sangha as your spiritual friends with whom you share your experiences, joys, happiness, fulfillment, as well as difficulties, disappointment, and frustrations while in the spiritual journey. Talk to them, discuss with them that spiritual path you are pursuing. And taking refuge in three jewels, in these three different ways, Buddha as a teacher, his teachings as actual means, method, his Sangha as his spiritual friends, in order to be free from suffering and the origin of suffering, particularly the origin of suffering. That is, those afflictions such as attachment, aversion, and ignorance, and the actions of our body, spirit, and mind, which are motivated by the afflictions. These two are the main causes that make us to feel pain, difficulties, immediately and long term. So to be free from them, then going for refuge to the three jewels. And think, although I'm going to listen to the talk on this particular sutra, but overall, my purpose of coming to this class is make this mind, the mind taking refuge in the three jewels, make this mind stronger, deeper, and every day my way of thinking, my way of behaving. Make this mind very spontaneous, very natural within my mental state. For that purpose I'm here. And some of you not only taken the Buddha Dharma as your spiritual path, but whatever some reasons, you have chosen the minor teachings as your spiritual path. And if that's the case, then trying to actualize, trying to experience that bodhicitta, the altruistic awakened mind, is key factor if you have chosen to pursue the minor spiritual path. That is, that mind, the altruistic awakened mind, is cultivated, is experienced when we have a strong, deep yearning, longing, that wanting to give help and support to others. Others without any discrimination, any exception, regardless of how they treat towards us. Some of them treat us very nicely, some of them treat us not nicely, some of them we don't have any, they don't have any feelings towards us. But from our side, regardless of these three different treatments that we receive from the others, from our side, that yearning, deep yearning, wanting to give help and support. And what kind of help and support that we like to give is from the basic needs such as food, shelter, medicines, and friendships. All the way from here to all the way up to give them help and support. Make them to experience complete cessation, the complete extinction, cessation of suffering and the origin of suffering. Give them help and support, make them to experience fully awakened mind. And that yearning to wanting to give help and support to others, to fulfill the goal, the aim of that yearning, then work to have strength, inner strength, to have skills, inner skills as well as external skills, work to have determination, to give help and support to all living beings, and above all, work to have that dedicated heart. And that kind of mind is called altruistic awakened mind, bodhicitta. And if you are following the minor teachings, then very strongly think. Although I'm going to listen particular sutra, but overall my purpose of coming here is to make this mind stronger, deeper, and a part of my everyday minds, everyday lives. To make this mind very spontaneous, very natural. So here what I'm trying to do is this, to make sure also we start the day with a right, positive, a constructive mind as an intention, motivation to participate in these activities. So try all your best according to your level, according to your mental strength, to have a positive mind. book, somewhere in there, I don't know what page, Refuge.
76.
Refuge in Bodhicitta, yeah? Refuge in Bodhicitta. It might be under the title. Yeah.
For the
Mahayana teachings, yeah.
I have one with Mati, which is dark, which is inside. So let's do 34 ist es. And also afterwards the Heartsutra? You do the Heartsutra afterwards?
Yeah.
Okay, also auf Seite 34 zuerst und dann das Herzsutra auf Seite 76. Genau.
So first the refuge in Bodhicitta lines together. Sanye Chödam Soni Chonara Chanjo Adudani Yapsuchi Daki Chincho Kita Sunanki Dolva Penche Sangye Rupasho Sanye Chödam Soni Chonara Chanjo Adudani Daki Chincho Kita Sunanki Dolva Penche Sangye Rupasho Sanye Chödam Soni Chonara Chanjo Adudani Yapsuchi Daki Chincho Kita Sunanki Dolva Penche Sangye Rupasho. Oh yeah. Now we will do a short silent meditation. A short silent meditation. And as I said earlier, purpose of this meditation is to make sure that our mind is not only in a positive state, but also it is right here and now, at this place, with this body, fully alert and fully aware to the present moment. To do that, it will be good to follow these 3 steps. The first step is to find out, to have a right, comfortable sitting posture, body posture. Right, comfortable in the sense of body posture which creates the atmosphere, which invites your mind to come, rest, and then raise awareness. And then when you have found a right, comfortable sitting posture, then the second step will be selecting an object or choosing an object, such as your natural breathing, then making that object, so object that you have chosen, make very, very clear to your mind. When that chosen object is very clear to your mind, then the third step, which is the actual meditation, that is very simply placing your mind on that chosen object, and then without any thought, any interpretation, any judgment, in other words, be free from conceptual thoughts, very simply, fully aware of the chosen object. It can be just simply your breathing. That means your mind is fully, completely with your breathing, but without any interpretation, judgment, conceptual thought. By doing that, then raise the awareness. When I say raise the awareness, what is in there? There are two mental qualities. First, there is a stability. Stability in the sense of your mind is with that chosen object, and there is a clarity in the sense of your mind is fully alert, fully aware of the chosen object. So we'll do this meditation about 15 minutes. slowly end meditation. Before you read Heartsutra in German, what I'll do, I'll read Heartsutra once in Tibetan. I was going to do last time, but I didn't bring my Tibetan copy. So today I've got this. So what I'll do, I'll read quickly once in Tibetan Heartsutra, and I have received, the Heartsutra teachings from many great teachers, including His Holiness the Dali Lama and the other great teachers. So what I'll do, I'll read that in Tibetan, and while I'm reading that in Tibetan, you just listen that, and then after that you can read in German. Deke dake doba dujina chunde ne jaga chaba pumbu rina kenlongi kintin chimbo dan chenchu simbe kintin chimbo tabju doju de te ze chumne de samme nawa shi chana chuli namjan ji tingyen zima nyamba shu so yang de ze chenchu samba samba chimbo papa chenre se wangchu papa chenre se wangchu sheraji paru to chimba samme choba nila namba da shi pumbu ngamba teta lanya rashin ji tongpa namba tao Tene sanje yi tsui tsedan tenpa sharebu chanchu samba samba chenpo papa chenre se onchula. Papa chenre se onchula dike chenme so riki pokana sharabji parodo chenpa samme cheba cheba deba de chida labar chan. Dike je me pata chanchu samba samba chenpo papa chenre se onchula tsedan tenpa share dade pona dike chenme so. Sharebu riki poma kanala sharabji parodo chenpa samme cheba cheba deba de tida namba tawa chade. Pumba ngabo tida laya rashingi tongba namba ya tawa jeso tawo. So tongba wo, tongba ni so le tongba ni shemayi. Tongba ni le jan so shemayi no te shindo tsowa dan tushe namba sheba na tongba wo. Sharebu tida wana jaya sharebu tida wana. Sharebu teta che tomje tongpa ni te tsini me pa ma je pa ma ka pa tima me pa tima da tawa tiwa me pa kawa me pa o sharebu teta wana tongpa ni me sumi tsowa me dushe me namba sheba me nawa me na me je yi me sumi jame jime ro me je me che me da me je kame yi namba shebe kame pa do me do Mariba seba me bani Geshe ne Geshe sebe padunya me tishindo dungya wada punju wada gobada la me ishe me toba me mato Sharebu teta wana chenchu samba me toba me me shana paro to chimba me tenjik ne de simda jiba me jen toba me chinje lo shindo tene nyangene tebe tashindo te sondo namar shube sanje tamje den sharabi paro to chimba la ten Sharabji Parodo Chimbala Tene Lana Nanda Sobe Chunju Tongba Soba Sanje So Tetavena Sharabji Parodo Chimbanga Riba Chimbanga Lana Mebanga Minyambada Nyambanga Duneta Nirado Shiva Chivanga Mizebana Debra Shiva Chede Sharabji Parodo Chimbanga Mebata Yata Gade Para Sampade Bodhi Soha Sharabu Chanju Samba Chimba Teta Sharabji Parodo Chimba Samola Labar Chao. Tene Jumne de Ding in Tene Chandu Chanju Samba Chimba. Papa Jerez Onjula Lexo, Shejawa Lexo, Riki, Tedishin, Tedishin, the Chidarji. Then Batishin, the Sherabi Parodo Chimba Samola, Lama Sam Sharaki Parudu Chimba, Samola Jabra Chade, Tishin Shaban, Jesu Yiram, Jumden, Tibetan Gasan, Zelan, Shari, Dadebu, Janju Samba, Samba, Baba Janes, Onjuda, Tamjeda, Demba, Koro, Chisarjebe, Jiden Yiram, the Jumden, Sumba. Oh yeah, now you can read one in German, Heartsutra.
Ich fahre in die
Diese Worte gehörte ich zu einer Zeit. Der Buddha saß zusammen in einer großen Gemeinschaft von Mönchen und einer großen Gemeinschaft von Bodhisattvas, Berge, Ziel. Zu dieser Zeit verweilte er in dem meditativen Gleichgewicht der Konzentration auf die Vielzahl von Phänomenen, welche tiefgründige Erscheinungen genannt wird. Zur gleichen Zeit betrachtet er auch die edle Bodhisattva ausschließlich die tiefgründige Praxis der Vollkommenheit von Weisheit und sah die 5 Aggregate der Seele von ihnen wohnender Existenz. Daher durch die Inspiration des Buddhas sagte der ehrenwerte Buddha zu den edlen Bodhisattvas wie sollte jedes Kind aus guter Familie üben, dass die tiefgründige Praxis der Vollkommenheit und Weisheit anwenden will? Das sagte er, und der edle Bodhisattva sagte zu dem ehrenwerten Buddha: Sharaputra, jeder Sohn und jede Tochter aus guter Familie, die das tiefgründige Praxis der Vollkommenheit und Weisheit anwenden wollen, sollten folgende Ansicht annehmen. Sie sollten auch die 5 Aggregate sehr korrekt und nachdrücklich als Lehre von innewohnender Natur ansehen. Form ist Lehre, Leerheit ist Form. Leerheit ist nichts anderes als Form und Form ist nichts anderes als Lehre. Ebenso sind Empfindung, Erkennen, Gestalten der Faktoren und Hauptbewusstsein Lehre. So sind alle Phänomene Leerheit, sie haben keine Kennzeichnung. Sie sind unerschaffen, nicht beendet, ohne Verunreinigung, nicht frei von Verunreinigung, ohne Verringerung und ohne Vervollständigung. Sharaputra, daher gibt es in Leerheit keine Form, keine Empfindung, kein Erkennen, keine gestaltenden Faktoren, kein Hauptbewusstsein, kein Auge, kein Ohr, keine Nase, keine Zunge, kein Körper, kein Geist, keine Form, keinen Ton, keinen Geruch, keinen Geschmack, nichts Fassbares und keine Phänomene. Angefangen von der Nicht-Existenz der Sphäre der Augen bis hin zur Nicht-Existenz der Sphäre des Geistes und weiter bis hin zur Sphäre des geistigen Hauptbewusstseins existiert auch nichts. Angefangen von der Nicht-Existenz von Unwissenheit und der Nicht-Existenz von der Beendigung von Unwissenheit bis hin zu der Nicht-Existenz von Alter und Tod und der Beendigung von Alter und Tod existiert auch nichts. Genauso ist Ziel, Ursache, Beendigung oder Weg, weder transzendente Weisheit, Erlangen noch nicht erlangen. Daher, Sharapu, weil es kein Erlangen gibt, verlassen sich Bodhisattvas auf die Vollkommenheit der Weisheit, verweilen in ihrem Kram, haben keine geistige Verdunkelungen und keine Angst. Das Falsche gänzlich zurücklassen, gelangen sie letztendlich über das Leiden hinaus. Alle Buddhas, die in den 3 Zeiten verweilen, verlassen sich ebenfalls auf die Vollkommenheit der Weisheit und erreichen in unübertrefflicher, vollständiger Erleuchtung die vollkommene Buddhaschaft. Deshalb das Mantra der Vollkommenheit von Weisheit, das Mantra großen Wissens, das unübertroffene Mantra, das Mantra, das dem gleich, was ohne Gleichen ist, das Mantra, das als Heilige vollständig steht, das unverlüglich und daher als wahr zu bezeichnen ist, das Mantra der Vollkommenheit von Weisheit ist verkündet. Om
Shariputra, sagte der Bodhisattva Mahasattva, auf diese Weise soll man sich in der tieferen Praxis Vollkommenheit und Weisheit üben. Dann erhob sich der Buddha aus jener Konzentration und ließ dem edlen Bodhisattva Mahasattva sein Sohn zu kommen. Gut, o Sohn guter Familie, gut. So wie du es dargelegt hast, sollte man die Vollkommenheit der Weisheit üben und es wird auch nicht der Tage das erfreuen. Nachdem der Buddha diese Worte gesprochen hatte, freute sich der ehrenwerte Geshe, der edle Bodhisattva Mahasattva Geshe-la, der transzendentale Fürst, das gesamte Gefolge und die Welt der Götter, Menschen, Halbgötter und sich von ernährenden Wesen und Riesen die Worte des Buddha.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Now, long gap from my last visit. I myself lost where we stopped. But anyway, what I have prepared today and tomorrow half day is focus on particular area. If we are fully, if we are clear in that particular area connection to this topic, then remaining the list will be very, very straightforward. Very, very straightforward. So therefore, what I will do, I will focus. Do you remember when we look at the Heartsutra, my last visit, and now we have a different version of it. You have German and the English, but both are the what's called the FMT version. I hope these match a little bit and not completely different. So the last time when I came here, the first thing what I did was I tried to make this Heartsutra, try to divide into different sections for us to get some kind of, what in English they call some kind of grip on what we are doing here. So what I did is I divided Heartsutra into 3 sections, didn't I? Saying this is the starter, this is the main body, and this is the conclusion. So we finish the background or the starter of the Heartsutra. That really almost up to in English, first, second, third, fourth verse. End of the fourth verse. The verse which finishes in English this, the verse itself starts saying this. He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aya Avalokiteshvara said this to Venerable Shariputra. Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly, beholding those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Up to there, you got it in German? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So up to there is almost like the background of the sutra. Who taught, where it's taught, to whom it's taught, and what is the subject, and the nature of the sutra. And the nature of the sutra is very much a dialogue between Shariputra and Avalokiteshvara. Not the Buddha was talking. The nature of this sutra is very much Shariputra asked this question, just one question, but then Avalokiteshvara answer. And that is the nature of the sutra. So up to there, is really very much the, in other words, you can say the background, or sometimes in English they call what prologue, something like that. So then, when the sutra, when the next paragraph saying form is empty, emptiness is form, from there, then if you look at your sutra, the end of the mantra is the main body of the sutra. The main body of the sutra. Then after the mantra, the paragraph which starts saying, Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like this. That from there is the conclusion. So that is what we did. And it is quite good to know that. Now we are looking at the main body of the sutra, which is from saying the paragraph saying form is empty. Now in here again, last time I tried to talk to you, try to show you this main body of the sutra. Also, we can look at into say for example the first and the second paragraph in the main body of the sutra, when it says form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form, form is also not other than emptiness. In same way, feeling, discrimination, conversational factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra likewise, all phenomena are emptiness without characteristic, unproduced, so and so. So these two, what you call the verse or paragraphs, are usually called the most extensive answer. Extensive answer by the Avalokiteshvara. After the extensive answer, the paragraph which starts saying Shariputra, therefore in emptiness there's no form, no feeling. From then on, up to this what you call the paragraph, just before the mantra paragraph. The mantra paragraph which starts in, therefore the mantra of perfection of wisdom, up to that there's one in English, two big paragraphs. Two big paragraphs in English, I don't know in German. Two big paragraphs are going through the lists of phenomena. Going through the lists of phenomena. Phenomena which is right here and now with us, with us right here and now, and the phenomena which we have strong aspiration to have it, such as attaining enlightenment. So, in a certain extent, these two paragraphs, after the two paragraphs which are more detailed explanation about on emptiness, then the two big paragraphs are the list, explain the list of phenomena in the sense of the things and events. Phenomena in the sense of the things and events. Some of them are here and now with us, right here and now. We don't want it. We don't, we want to avoid it, but they are with us. And some of them are, we want it, we don't have it, and so on and so forth. So from the basic, the things, there are things which are with us, and the things which things that we are not with us, we have aspiration to have it. So they have this list. And this is something quite important. And I think if you remember, in the list, there's the first list, in the list, the first list is the 5 aggregates. I'm going again because just I want to refresh your mind. Otherwise, if I go straight away, you may get confused. And so I'm sure you have read and you have thought about these things, but I'm going to go again. Now there are this 5 aggregates. That's the first list. When it says Shariputra, therefore in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composition of pleasure, no consciousness. That's the first list. In there are 5. That's called 5 aggregates. Then carry on. No eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind. That is the second list. What we call the 6 sense powers. Second list. Then carries on. No visual form, no sound, no smell, no audio, no taste, no object of touch, no phenomena. That is the third list. That is the 6 sense objects, or 6 objects of phenomena. 6 objects. Then carries on saying there's no I element, so on up to and including no mental, no mind element, and no mental consciousness element. And these are the 6 consciousnesses. 6 consciousnesses. So what we have after the 5 aggregates, what we have 3 groups of 6. After the 5 aggregates, we have 3 groups of 6. The first group is called, there are different terms I use, saying the 6, sense powers, you can use that, or 6 sources. There are different terms. Then 6 objects, then 6 consciousnesses. I'm sure you are very, very good in the mathematics. So, these 6 come together. Sometimes they are also called 18 dhatus in Sanskrit, or in English, sometimes they are also called 18 elements. 18 elements or dhatus. When these 6 groups come together, become 18, they are called 18 dhatus or 18 elements. Okay? Then, after that, when say, the no mental consciousness element, then it goes saying, there's no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, so on up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging of death. That group is the 12 links. 12 links of dependent origination. That group. That is the 12 links of dependent origination. When we talk about how in Buddhism, how we circle in this cyclic existence, in this samsara, then the Buddhist answer is because of these 12 links, these 12 factors. And that's what here, this next group is 12 links of dependent origination. Then says, similarly, there's no suffering, no origin, no cessation, no path. That group is the Four Noble Truths. That group is Four Noble Truths. Then there's no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. And that is really group in the sense of the people like you and me seeking wisdom to eliminate the ignorance, have a strong aspiration, wanting to attain something, wanting to experience the liberation, wanting to experience enlightenment. And these 3 are saying the wisdom that we seek, attainment that we want to attain, and that's what here this. There is not such as a group, but it is more in this loose. There are 3. Then carries on saying, Shariputra, therefore, because there's no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration, without fear. So in this paragraph, this second paragraph, out of 2 paragraphs, the second paragraph is mainly talking about how the bodhisattvas, attain their goal, and that is mainly dealing with the bodhisattvas' teachings. If you look at in the first group, in the first paragraph, most of these, the topics are common to the Theravadan teachings as well as the Mahayana teachings. In the Theravadan teachings, they talk about 5 aggregates. All the list that we went through in the first paragraph. In the second paragraph, then more focus on the bodhisattva path, in other words, Mahayana teachings. So this is how the sutra is laid down. It's very interesting. Very interesting to look at. That is how. So now, just to refresh your the memory, including my own memory too. Now I want to focus first. Really, very much. I want to focus on the first category. As I said earlier, a few minutes ago, if we get it, the first categories, rightly, correctly, relation to the topic emptiness, remaining are same. Say, for example, if you want to paint this room in many different colors. I'm not saying paint in many different colors. I'm just using an example. So if you want to paint this room, big room, into different colors, but you go to the shop where you buy the colors, and when they show you the colors and they're mixed, and then to the order in the computer and proportion, and they put into this machine, they shake it, and then so on and so forth. When you got it, the color, maybe color might be red, green, yellow, blue, all different colors. If you got it one color, how to paint it properly, in that section, then the remaining color, you will understand how to paint it well. Because you got it the first color correctly, rightly, how to paint it. So there's no problem remaining colors, only different colors, but how, you already know how to paint it. What's the best to prepare the wall, all the preparations, brush and everything, you know that. So it's similar to that. Although there's a list, which I went through briefly, if we got it, the first list, which is the 5 aggregates, which is right here and now with us, if we got these 5 aggregates, correctly, rightly, relation to the topic on emptiness, no problem. Remaining, lists are same. As here said, similarly, they are same. No problem. So therefore, mainly what I'm going to do today, I'm going to focus on the 5 aggregates. And as I said, last my visit in here, the emptiness, the teaching on emptiness is presented in many different ways. Although in the Theravadan sutras, those Pali sutras, so-called the earlier Buddhist sutras, Pali sutras, they don't use the term emptiness, as used in the Mahayana sutras, like the Panchaparamita sutras. Nevertheless, if we look at closely, there's no doubt many of the Theravada sutras, deal with this topic. Although the term emptiness, they may not use, have not used in the Theravada sutras. Now, interesting point is this: how it is presented by the what you call the Mahayana sutras, and then particularly those the Indian great masters, how they interpret it, and that is interesting. That is interesting to know. In the Mahayana sutras, I'm talking about like this sutra, like here. Here it says there's no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composition, no patterns, no eye, no ear, no attainment. And it is exactly the same if you read the most extensive what you call the Panchaparamita Sutra, 100,000 verses. Only difference is in the 100,000 verses, which is the out of the most extensive Panchaparamita Sutra, Wisdom Sutra. Only difference in here is there it goes again and 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 again, more detail. The others is same. Now, then the Mahayana, those great Indian masters like Nagarjuna and some of his disciples, Ayodhya, direct disciple, and some of his indirect disciples, how they interpreted this kind of sutra. Their commentaries on this kind of sutra. Then we can see the difference presentation from the Theravada sutra, traditions. Now, first thing is this: if you look at in the Theravada sutras, like some of the, for example, some of you may know this sutra, which is very, very popular. For example, Mahasatipatthana Sutra. That Theravada, they use very much the four foundation of mindfulness, the mindfulness meditation, which is very popular in the Theravada tradition, which is based on this famous sutra called Mahasatipatthana Sutra. Mahasatipatthana Sutra. This is the sutra which they based on to lead the four foundation of mindful meditation. If you look at that sutra, what you will see, relation to the four foundation, good, you are a very good imitator. Four are the body, feeling, mind, and the phenomenon. When they look at, in that sutra, when the sutra taught body, that goes through extremely detailed about the body. Extremely detailed. First of all, the sutra goes to explain what is this body is made of. Then it says it is made of these four great elements. Elements of earth, wind, water, and fire. Basically, the body is made of these four great elements. Then it goes to all the details. Hardness, or softness, everything. There are 6 or 7 different groups to go, which explains what is here as a body. And the same when it explains feeling. So, Buddha, the Buddha, historical Buddha, when he taught, in the earlier sutras, like nowadays in the Pali sutras, he went through, some occasion he went through very detailed, what is here as a body, what is here as a feeling, what is here as a discrimination factor, what is here as a consciousness. In other words, the 5 aggregates, which we are going to look at. He went through very detailed, some are very, very detailed explanations. And as I said last my visit, the purpose of presenting from that angle is this, to say, what is in this room? In this room, what are the things in this room? If we understand, if we got it very clearly, what are the things in this room, we are in a really good position to understand what is not here in this room. Are you with me? I will repeat again. In the Theravada Sutras, when Buddha presented this business of emptiness, if we use that term, business of emptiness, although the term emptiness is not used, the term is used anatma, selflessness. Selflessness, anatma. Not shunyata, it is more than Mahana's term, but anatma. In the Theravada Sutra, when Buddha presented anatma, how he presented more from the angle, saying, what is here? Said here in this case, first take an example. What are the things in this room? If we got it, one by one, what are the things in this room? What things are here in this room? We're in a really, really good position to understand what is not here in this room. Yeah, you have got it? This is important. If we say in this room, there are, in terms of the beings, mainly human beings, maybe small parts here and there, but mainly human beings. Then we're in a really, really good position to say there's no elephant in this room, there's no dog in this room, there's no cat in this room. From the Mahayana Sutra's point of view, the presentation of emptiness is how it's presented, saying, that's absent. What is absent is presented. What is absent is presented, not presented. What is present is presented. Therefore, in the sutra it says, there's no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no blah blah, no blah blah, no blah blah. In the Mahayana Sutras, in the Panchaparamita Sutras, emptiness or the selflessness is presented from the point of view of what is empty of, what is absence of, presented from that angle. The Theravada Sutras, the anatma or the selflessness is presented not what is absent, but what is present. Both will take in the same point if you got it correctly. And that's the difference. Therefore, today we are going to look at what is five aggregates. What is here? It might be very boring. Yeah. Now we'll have a short break, about 20 minutes. It's okay. It's now 11:30. I will go until 1 here. So we'll have a 20 minutes break. We'll come back 10 to 12.